welcome to this episode of Art Sibley in Conversation. My name is Diane Collin. This series presents artists, academics, and project leaders who dedicate their time and energy to a better accessibility for people with disabilities in the arts. You can find more of these conversations on our website, artsibly.com, which is spelled artsably.com. Today, Art Sibley is in conversation with Carol Ratzlaff, founder of Viva Singers Toronto. Among the choirs that she and her team lead is the Every Voice Matters Chorus, EVM, a choir for teenagers and adults with disabilities who require individualized support. I attended one of their rehearsals on Monday, February 26, 2024. This episode first opens with an excerpt of the song We Rise Again that they were practicing. You will then have a snapshot of their warm-up and rehearsals with their conductors, Carol and Michael. After that excerpt, we will hear Michael speak about his experience with the choir and Carol tell us more about Viva Singers.
So you're Michael Denemy, and I'm right now with Viva. What is your role in the organization?
So I'm the assistant conductor of the Every Voice Matters chorus here at Viva.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been in this role for just 2 years now, but I've been with the choir for, I think this is my 5th season.
So what does it consist of, this choir exactly?
Yeah, so this choir is a great inclusive group of singers for all disabilities and varying abilities depending on like physical needs, also different like mental needs, and yeah, it's just an all accessibility choir, and we often collaborate with the community choir, which is made up of different adults from the community. It's a non-audition choir, so it's really a great way to get everyone in from the community and include lots of different voices that aren't always included in other groups.
So can you tell me what it consists of, your role exactly?
Yeah, exactly. So my role as the assistant conductor is just making sure that everything goes smoothly. I teach a lot of music and just making sure that everyone feels comfortable in the space and helping anyone with sort of anything musically.
Okay, and so how the format of the rehearsals, what do you do exactly during the rehearsals?
Yeah, so during the rehearsals, generally either Carol or I will start with a warm-up. Often I will play the piano if Carol is teaching or if Brad is somewhere else. And that's something that I love doing. Collaborating with Carol on a weekly basis is wonderful. So we often will just take turns leading things in the rehearsals, either being up there teaching, or we often will split into smaller groups as well, to switch up the learning environment, to making sure that everyone that learns in different styles, whether it's a group or in smaller groups, is taken care of.
Can you tell me like a great memory that you have in everything that you've done in the choir?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one that always sticks out for me is the very first season I was with Viva. It was 2019, 2020. So it was right as we were sort of heading into the pandemic, and I believe this was when we sang Beethoven Mass in C. And at first, when I came into the group, I said, "There's no way that we can sing this. Like it's such a big work, it's so huge," and just the way that we were able to break it down for every single singer, no matter their music ability level, it was just a wonderful way to present that work. With the assistance of the community choir and different section leads, we were able to sing through the whole Beethoven Mass in C, which is quite a substantial work, and I still remember that musical memory to this day, and I think I have most of that work memorized at this point as well, which is just a great testament to how well it was taught throughout the whole process.
So this is a special choir, and I've attended a rehearsal, and I was really impressed by everything that was done. But so it's all related to inclusivity and accessibility. And what is it for you to be in an organization that promotes accessibility in the arts?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important to me because I think that music should be available to everyone. It's something that I enjoy every single day of my life, and I don't really know what I would be doing without music in my life. So just to be able to share the gift of music with every singer, no matter their ability level or whatever accessibility needs they need, is really important to me. So we are often very flexible with the way that we teach things here at Viva, and I think that's a really important way for us to keep moving forward, to be able to reach as many lives as possible through music.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I am with Carol Ratzlaff today, and I just attended a rehearsal of one of the Viva choirs, and I will let Carol present this organization and these choirs. But before that, Carol, can you present yourself?
Sure. I am a senior woman with long brown hair, and I am about 5'2". I'm wearing blue jeans and just a gray shirt and big glasses.
You are the founder of Viva.
Yes, I am.
And what is it exactly, Viva? I know there are 7 different choirs. There are a lot of different things that you do in terms of pedagogy, in terms of rehearsals, in terms of music training, things like that. And so can you tell me a little bit more about Viva itself?
Sure, yes. Well, our evolution began in the year 2000 when there were severe government cuts to school programs, especially downtown Toronto. And so I was a teacher in the school system, but I felt I had to do something outside the school system as well. It wasn't just enough to be in the system, but I had to do something in the private sector, as challenging as that is. And so I founded children's choir, Viva Youth Singers at the time, and it grew fairly quickly, and we got work with the National Ballet right away in our first year. We've been singing with them ever since, 24 years. And so we just grew quite quickly. We had programming for children up to 18, but our community evolved based on who stuck around. Basically, we were responsive to singers who were just with us. And so as they got older and tenors and basses emerged from the crowd and they didn't leave, we created an SATB choir in about 2005. But in the back of my mind was, I was burdened by this, I think you might say it's a calling, to create a choir for people with disabilities. It just weighed heavily on me. With each passing year, I felt this is something that I had to do, and when would I do it, and how do I do it? And so it wasn't until 2010 when I had an opportunity to do that I added that component to the choir. But it was weighing on me the whole time, for sure. But it did start with very much just a youth focus, and with some anger at that government for not understanding that a broader curriculum is what serves children, not a narrow one. But you couldn't fight it really at the time, except by doing your own thing within the system as well as you could, and then just working outside of it at the same time. So those are our roots. And then we have evolved based on who is around us, really. And I guess you'd call it responsive pedagogy. And so then our non-audition community choir evolved because there were some parents around, and they wanted to sing, and so we had a little program called the 6 Week Singers. And so we have these limited time kind of projects, and then it just evolved that people wanted to sing longer than 6 weeks, and so all of these things were just from our community.
But you are a voice teacher, or you are a teacher in...
I am both, yes. I'm a singer and mainly a classical singer, and just done professional choral work locally. And then I taught vocal music in the schools, ended up at high school teaching choral music and so on. And and I tried to keep singing as much as I could with, my school teaching and then my Viva work, but tried to keep my hand in that as long as I could.
So how did it evolve from one choir, possibly like a community choir? Was it a community choir?
Yeah, we started with 2 children's choirs, and it got populated, I think, fairly readily. It was small at the beginning, but it seemed to grow quite well within 2 or 3 years. So
2 or 3 years from 2000 to 2 or 3 years later.
Yeah, but I mean it was viable. It was growing. There was interest, and so we just were able to keep going. Mind you, I mean, a number of us worked very hard for about 7 years to really launch it. We volunteered for the first few years just to get it going and assemble the board and get charitable status and all those foundational things. You never want to do that twice in your life.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
So you have a big team behind
a big
Viva.
team. We do have a big team. We have 35 staff members, most part-time, and then of course the board of directors.
Okay, so now today you have 7 choirs.
We have 7. Yes, yeah. So we've kept our youth choirs, and then those adult choirs have emerged, and our EVM chorus is thriving.
And when you started your choir, it was with children with disabilities, or it was with everybody with disability?
There were no people with disabilities. For the first 10 years, it was just a children's organization. And then I had the opportunity to network with someone at Holland Bloorview.
Oh, okay.
I knew a music therapist there, and I just really felt I wanted to do this work, and it was a cold call, really. And this person said, Andrea Lamont is her name. She's still a practicing music therapist, I'm sure. She said, well, I have just been allotted a certain percentage of my schedule to do community work somewhere, and I'm funded to go somewhere and help out. And so I said, well, could that be with me? And so for that year, she had a certain percentage of her time where she helped us understand how to audition people with various conditions and diagnoses, and how to support them, and how we might go about that work. And so we just jumped in.
And for each rehearsal, I suppose you have a staff members who help you with
Yes,
with the
we have
attendance?
almost one-on-one teaching assistant staffing for each person with a disability. Yeah, and then we have an inclusion coordinator that oversees all of it. When we have a new singer come, she will then spend time with the family and make sure that we know what brings out the best in that singer, and then she will acquaint the singer and their needs to their teaching assistant, and then just network through the year to make sure that relationship is going well. So there's a lot of work in the background that has to be done.
So, in details, what does it mean for you to have like this organization that provides this accessibility needs that is not very well covered here, right? We don't have a lot of organizations like you that is that open and it says everybody's welcome, you can come, sing, whatever your ability is. What does it mean for you exactly?
It means that you are creating, you're taking beauty and sharing it more widely. And for me, it's less political than it is aesthetic, and that's the thing that I find challenging currently in our world, is that everything is stated from a political lens, and very rarely when I read academic sources of any kind do I encounter the power of music or the aesthetics, and so we've lost that currently. It will come back. We've just got a lopsided academy currently. But because the human spirit wants creativity and yearns for beauty, that will be restored at some point. But that's how I think of it. I think of it as sharing music that I love, and of all sorts, and removing barriers so that other people can share in it. And I guess that pretty much sums it up for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's something about that dynamic of working with people with disabilities that tears away the social mystique that there's a layer sometimes in musical performance that is absolutely stripped away. And to me, music making is so much better without it. Just the raw humanity of a person. And for an example, we have a young person with cystic, why do I always forget the name of what he is affected by, but anyway, he's trapped in this body, and he tries his best and he sings with his heart and soul, but he writhes with joy in performance, and that is pure and utter raw humanity that is just wanting to make art and be part of something beautiful. And I've spoken at many conferences, and how many times have people said, I guess you just listen with different ears? And I find that unconscionable. Of course I don't listen with different ears. I'm a musician. Like, I love sound. I love beautiful sound. Like, that's not it. That's not the point. The point has been missed with that comment. But I have great patience, though, with people and their anger and their ableism. I really do. I have compassion for it because we are locked into this world of ours, you know, and people are just trying to make their way. And so, but I would like to share a little bit of how you could think of things differently than that. And just open up. I think what it does is it just opens you up in a different way. It's quite a gift.
And still logistically, when you perform, you have to make sure that all the performers are able to go on stage, right? So
yes.
Where do you perform usually?
Well, we just rent space here at Jean Lamont Hall.
Okay.
You know, it's accessible and they're comfortable in the building. You know, we tend to retain the singers because they, you know, so much is built on relationship. You know, we have a young teaching assistant, for instance, who's been a TA here since he was 15. He's now finished his master's, and he's been supporting the same 2 young men all that time. Those relationships are key, and when he's away, they're not happy, right? But you know, so they really benefit from routine and from familiarity. So they're very happy here to do the concerts, and it's a great place to perform. So.
And when you do camps or when you go outside the place where you usually perform, do you struggle to find places that are accessible for like to have an instrument somewhere to rent and to make sure there is enough space for everybody to go around?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had that much opportunity to do things outside. We have, for the EVM chorus in particular, we have taken some of them to camp 1 year, because we do have a children's performing arts camp every fall. And I don't think they benefited that much from that experience. We might try it again in a different way. We did a musical just recently at Theatre Passe Muraille, and that was a great experience. And that was a young man with Down syndrome who composed a musical, and then it was professionally produced. And so we were the chorus for it. So that was really our first gig, you know, where we left home and went out and we're engaged to perform.
And when is your next performance with the group?
May 25th is our year-end concert, so all of our choirs will sing on that show. And so, yeah, the music that you heard tonight is what we'll perform that night. So it's called Poetry in Motion, and we have some hip-hop dancers who will dance to the Carmina Burana, and so I think it's pretty creative.
Where can you find information about how to book the tickets and?
Oh well, we could just give your name to our manager. She'd be happy to share the info.
Oh, I mean, not for me, but for people
or for
who
anyone.
want to. Yeah.
Yeah, or our website. Well, it'll be advertising it as well.
Okay, great. I have a last question. Is there any person in particular that you would think in terms of inspiration of your work?
Well, a few years ago, before COVID, I flew to Scotland by myself, and I went to the Drake School and saw all the amazing things they were doing in Edinburgh there. And I met James Macmillan, one of the world's great composers currently. And I had just read that he had a granddaughter with a disability who just unfortunately died. And similar to me, who I have a son with a disability. He's alive and well, I'm happy to say. But so, I mean, I don't possess a disability, neither does James Macmillan, but the common thing was that we had this close family member who had been affected. So, but his work and what sprung from that for him was this amazing project of compositions, including people with disabilities, there at the Drake School, and also school children with disabilities, and bringing together some of the finest orchestral players, in the UK, and doing a major work with these people, playing instruments, that are modified or, like with the aid of technology and so on. But creating beauty out of that, it was just amazing to watch. So, that's been a real inspiration for me. That there's this incredible artist, and he is able to find ways to bring beauty and to include those people.
Well, thank you for your work, because I think it's very important. People like you, they're the force of this society, and we can actually show that there is great power in arts for people with disabilities, or for everybody actually. But with the creation of all these choirs and all these ensembles and all these pedagogy techniques, I was also very impressed by the diversity of pedagogy techniques that I saw tonight.
Oh, that's great.
And so I wanted to say thank you, and thank you for receiving me today.
Yeah,
And
thank you for coming.
all the best with all your projects.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.